So one of the takeaways is not just that the Republican Party base is somehow fundamentally flawed in a way that's unique in American political history. It's that Trump is a really bad candidate and, frankly, I think a really bad person.
3 days later.
Donald Trump.
In 2016, you called your running mate Donald Trump unfit for the nation's highest office, and you said he could be America's Hitler. I know you've been asked many times, and you've said you regret those comments and explained you then voted for Donald Trump in 2020. You're now his running mate, and you've shifted many of your policy stances to align with his. If you become vice president, why should Americans trust that you will give Donald Trump the advice he needs to hear and not just the advice he wants to hear?
Well, first of all, Margaret, because I've always been open. And sometimes, of course, I've disagreed with the president, but I've also been extremely open about the fact that I was wrong about Donald.
A few minutes later.
Afternoon, we are coming on the air with breaking news. Former President Donald Trump has made his choice. Mr. Trump just posted on his social media platform, Truth Social, that Ohio Senator J.D. Vance will be his running mate and Republican nominee for vice president ahead of this year's general election. So this year's Republican ticket will be Trump-Vance.
The way I felt before is the way I still feel. Things have got too serious of a point. Seeing what's going on, white men like Trump need to be banished. That way of thinking is real dangerous. This man literally threatened the lives of us and our families about going to vote.
Stand back and stand by.
Stand back and stand by.
Yeah.
1 hour later.
Now, I'm not pro or anti anyone mentioned in this video. Well, actually, I am hostile to J.D. Vance, but that's for another video on another day. At any rate, I had a thought. Trump is reluctant to pardon Sean Diddy Combs. But why? Because Diddy criticized him? Meanwhile, J.D. Vance once called Trump reprehensible, even America's Hitler, and publicly refused to vote for him. But Vance got rewarded anyway when he became vice president. Now, if criticism disqualifies you from a pardon, how does it qualify you for the second highest office in the land? That, my friends, is the art of hypocrisy, Trump style. Now, Diddy's crime was transportation to engage in prostitution. Convicted, sentenced, and yet he cannot catch a break from his former bestie, Trump. His political hostility is the barrier, not his guilt. You know how I know? Because Trump pardoned Terrence Dale Sutton Jr. in January. You know what his crime was? Murder in the second degree. There's that. Now, Vance's offense, words, public harsh criticism of Donald Trump, and yet he got the prize, a Senate seat, then a vice presidential pick. So what is going on here? Trump's pardon calculus is not legal. It's not moral. It's political and it's personal. Criticize him, you stay punished. Praise him or recant convincingly, and the doors swing wide. Vance recanted. Diddy, he stayed hostile. He stayed unrepentant. And that, in politics, is unforgivable. And this is not justice. This is not fairness. This is power wielded like a scalpel, cutting rewards and punishment according to loyalty. We're in a world where pardons are currency and loyalty is the coin. The law itself is a tool of performance, a stage where submission is rewarded and conscience is punished. Now, Vance, he adapted, and that's why he survived. Diddy resisted, and he remains expendable. Now, this is the hypocrisy of power in microcosm. A man who once loathed Trump, and I do mean loathed, he now holds the second highest office. Another man, former bestie, gets stonewalled for a pardon. That is arbitrary, it's transactional, and it's chilling. You know why? Because it tells us the rules are no longer written on law or morality. It's written on loyalty. So yeah, Diddy and Vance are two sides of the same dystopian coin. The Trump era does not value principle, it values utility, whether you can be used. And if you ask me, that is the real crime.